Alright folks, welcome to Maradon the Landslide Elemental Farm. Before we get going, just want to do a disclaimer. This is my preferred way of doing it. This is not the best. This is not the only way you can do it. There are several options for it, 3 in this farm. So going over talents, pretty simple. You just need instant cast corruption, improved life tap for the extra mana resources, and Grim Reach help you keep your distance from them. Not necessarily needed on the shardlings, but as far as keeping landslide away from you, it's certainly helpful while you're doing the kiting process. Siphon Life, without being said, that is going to carry you for this. You're going to be applying them to the shardlings, which in return just gives you a crap ton of health on top of the demonic sacrifice. Speaking of which, we'll switch over to the demology tree. The only thing I would probably say are required in this is Fell Domination to help you pump out the Voidwalker real quick, even though you're getting beat in the face by shardlings while you're standing still. Is demonic sacrifice. All other things are, I would say, optional, other than you have to spend 5 points each tier. Troll's Blood or greater. Mighty is just much cheaper to make. It costs 5 silver in my realm, so why not? You can bring your healthstones, doesn't matter. If you don't have full tier 8, or full tier 1, 8 out of 8, that'd be nice if we had tier 8. Just make sure to have increased movement speed to boots, or just a high amount of stamina. That will help you a lot. Spell damage isn't needed. If you're doing a different strat like the pillar by landslide, you're going to need more spell power and a lot of stam, but that's such a different gear threshold. Other than that, we'll just go ahead and jump in. I'll go ahead and start a timer when we get up to landslide. Regardless, setup's about 15 to 20 minutes. Depends how fast you are. If you pop your Zanza at the beginning of when you enter, or when you get to the top for the added cutting movement speed. Other than that, it doesn't really matter. All up to your preference. I'm sure somebody who can crunch numbers better than I can figure out when to pop it. This pack right here, you're going to have to kill, so mark it if you want. If you want to do it now, you can. I just skip and wait. I will have to say, them being pulled without Zanza, you're going to get knocked down by their stun. So, not recommend to pull them in the massive group that I usually do, and I will show you in a minute. Alright, so we're up at the top. We'll go ahead and bring out the Voidwalker. Just get him popped out. We're going to want the demonic sacrifice, pop our Zanza, and our mighty Troll's Blood. Don't really need it for these guys, but it doesn't hurt. The little tiny shardlings, all you have to do is apply a Curse of Agony and Siphon Life, and I'll kill him. Princess will not pull while you're doing this, so don't worry. The anxiety of having to kite her as well is unneeded. So as you see, they double back right there. Very useful thing to keep in mind if you are kind of behind and the shardlings are smacking their face while you're doing the farm, or you're doing this larger pull style. You don't have to do it this way, you can do the packs individually. I just find this easier because more targets to Siphon Life, the more health regen you can get. And when you mess up like that, well, it doesn't really matter. You get the cushion room of having more Siphon Life out, and it doesn't really matter if you get hit in the face a bunch. Just be sure if you do use Curse of Doom, it's on a target that does not have less than 3,000 health, otherwise you do have the risk of spawning a Doom Guard on your location. If you haven't had that happen before, it's not a good time. Normally I wouldn't equip the talisman. I'd probably use a toe up on this just for the added burst, but no harm, no foul. Swiftness is Zanza while runner. You won't get dust field as often because you're not in melee range, but it doesn't really matter. Just continue to do this. If you need more videos on how to do this, there's plenty on YouTube. So, other than that, I'm just going to continue doing this. Takes, I don't know, less than 5 minutes. Now, while I'm running to Landslide, I'll double check if I missed anything. Hopefully I didn't. Other than that, as far as anything useful for this, I would definitely say macro to delete all the junk. That one is for ZF. Where's the Mara one? So the Mara macro just gets rid of the lifeless stone, shined, polished stone, and the other one, the name escapes me at the time, but they will quickly fill up your bags. So what I do is I just delete them if I'm going for an hour plus long session, because you will fill this up at some point. Lifeless stone would be the cheapest one. Swiftness Zanza, you can just go straight into it. He's pretty easy, just watch out every 30 seconds he does the stun. Someone's 4 ads, but it's whatever. We have plenty of time when you get to Princess Room to whittle them down or on the way. While the Shardlings do spawn, just throw Siphon Life on them, just helps smooth out the damage. I wouldn't worry about collecting them on the way though. And as you see with Zanza, you can easily outrun these guys. Usain Bolt all day. Now that we're down here, just want to say make sure you go right. Counterclockwise is a whole lot easier, just in case if you end up taking too much damage, you can utilize the bridge over there. And using the pathing, that kind of bugs out where they double back. So, buys you a little extra. But we got Landslide right under 10%. Couldn't have planned that any better. And just keep on applying Siphon Life and run, run, run. I kite them around the outer rim and then loop around the rock for the bridge as stated previously. Otherwise, I just pick them up as they die after a minute. And I just keep on going. If you're this far out and the Shardling doesn't aggro, just get them the next time around. All you have to do is tap them once and they will drop loot. But other than that, once you get this set up and you're stabilized, you can life tap, get full regen, you know, full resources the entire time. Just don't attack Landslide, and you can do this for as long as you'd like, or until Zanza runs out. Then you got about 5-ish minutes until these guys start smacking your life more than you can regen. Just want to go over some of the questions that are usually asked about this farm. If you end up getting knocked off a ledge, especially when you are kiting Landslide, or just in general something goofy happens, if you get knocked off a ledge or pathing no longer becomes available for Landslide to get to you, you'll just instant teleport you to him. You've probably seen videos of the Paladin doing this solo. The reason he can get away to reset him is solely because he has Divine Shield. He can't be teleported while you're immune to not crowd control, movement impairing effects or stuns. Or I think it's just movement impairing, which is why a free action potion, aka FAP, works to negate that. So if you do need a reset or have a spot in mind, you can just pop a FAP. After 90 minutes of testing the other day on this, initially I got about 88 gold an hour. That was deleting grays, repair bills for these guys smacking enough times. As you see, I already got down 10%. You could probably do this for 2 hours or the duration of the Zanza pot, and then pretty much done. Do you need tier 1 8 out of 8? No. It's helpful, but no. DS Ruin or SM Ruin, are those required? Or are those viable? They're viable, yeah. From what I read from other people. I haven't tried yet. I'll be switching back to raid spec today, and I'll give this a shot on with DS Rune, but I would say for quality of life, I would just go for SMDS. I would just bring it down to Princess or Waterfall. I really don't mind the Princess room. It's kind of fun pulling everything for the initial cleanup. Do I need any professions? Common question. Herbalism's nice if you want to make a lap. Let's say starting on orange side. Orange side's usually preferred just because purple side does have a few stealth packs. You have to get around either by killing them or popping in Fizz Pot. I believe that works. Otherwise, engineering is pretty nice to have. You don't need on character you're farming on, but it's certainly nice to have to convert solid stone into solid blasting powder, and then you can further refine that if you're goblin into sapper charges, which majority of people are on PvP servers. On PvE, I would probably just make them for sappers anyways. I plan on saving those for a key. If you have any other questions, feel free to stop by the Warlock Discord. I'll post that below as well. They should be able to answer any questions. I'll post the document that I compiled. It's basically all the notes for this and what I said, so you don't have to rewatch the video. This is just demonstrating for the people that are a little bit more of a visual learner, and proof that I can do this with said requirements. And recommendations, I should say. Other than that, thanks for watching, and we'll see you for the next farm. Just wrapped up Marathon Landslide Farm, ended up with an hour and 8-minute run. Got 35 elemental earth, pretty good. Rates kind of vary, but not by much. By any means, they should be about 4 gold pop, so you're looking at about 40 gold a stack, which is pretty nice. I mean, simple math. So, you can either use that for greater nature protection potions or elemental sharpening stones if you got a melee ult. Either way, crafting those would probably up the price, but just for general purposes, it's about 4 gold for each of these guys. Core Earth, it's a little above vendor value. Don't know if it varies on other servers, but I'll probably throw a stack of these on the auction house just to see if they sell. They're used for a few recipes, and most notably is +5 resistance all to the cloak. Otherwise, not really noteworthy. Saltstone, got a, let's see, 324. You can, as an engineer, make them into solid blasting powder. They can be further made into sapper charges. Otherwise, I would just throw them on the auction house depending on your server prices. On mine, they're only 5 silver a pop. Not really that great. So, you can half your amount to 162 solid blasting powder and then further break it down. For sapper charges, you will need unusable or unstable trigger. Got 6 BOEs, none of them are all that great, but and maybe Tyrant's leggings, but we'll just average those out to like gold 50 each, so not bad. Get a ruby, a few aquamarines for your minor movement speed to boots, and that's about it. It went down to 18% durability. Gold repairs was about 3 gold, 70 silver. Did end up vending the blues and the grays that I had left over. Ended up getting 7 gold and 30 silver overall. If you want to factor in the respec, go for it. I don't for general purpose because I just make it up during raids or whatnot. Consumables and whatnot also play in a factor, so too much math. Other than that, that is about it. If you have any questions, like I said, stop on by to the Warlock Discord and have a good day.